Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AIM Impact on Your Health. AIM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AIM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AIM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, well, with the up-and-coming festivities of next week, a Microcurrent conference, a frequency-specific microcurrent conference we've been putting together and talking about for quite a while. Now what's emerged is the next Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group meeting is going to be focused around this theme. Now look, this is a little weird, so make sure you get this really loud and clear, but the meeting for the month of April is going to be held next Thursday night. Now get a load of this. Because of the holiday and the unavailability of the standard Riverside Landings accommodations, this one meeting is going to be held at the American Slovenian Citizen Association. Now, that's in Cheswick, a little bit in the opposite direction coming off the turnpike, but look, it's at 230 Heron Avenue in Cheswick, PA. So when you get off the Allegheny Valley Exchange or the turnpike, normally as you exit the turnpike, you stay in the right lane and you head down to the Holton Bridge. This time, for this one meeting, you're going to stay in the left lane and go north toward Cheswick. Just a quarter of a mile, just one light, and turn left on the Heron Avenue, 2 blocks in, and you're there. Now, I would suggest that you get to the website and find out more about. I mean, the flyers have gone out, so if you get email from Sylvia, more than likely have this new edition. This is hot off the press, and in this particular meeting, we're going to have 2 speaker special event. And usually never have but one, but this time's 2. And what a double whammy combination it is. The same double dynamite combination that's going to be found in our frequency specific conference. I'm talking about Dr. Charmaine Bassett, Trim, and Shannon Goosen. Now, they're going to invite you to come on up and learn more about this true paradigm shift in medicine. I'm certainly going to be there too, and you just might, after you've heard some more about it, think you want to become involved in the actual conference itself. Anyway, a lot of festivities next week, and it kicked off with the new meeting at this one, at only this location one time, and that's going to be held on Thursday night, 7 o'clock at the American Slovenian Citizen Association, 230 Heron Avenue in Cheswick. Turn left coming off of that turnpike exit. You stay in the left lane and then head up Freeport Road just a quarter of a mile to the intro to Heron Road. And more about that as time goes on. Now, our guest today is one of the main participants in the 2-speaker event. I'm talking about Shannon Goosen. She'll be checking in with us about quarter after the hour. We'll find out what she has in store for you up at the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group, trying to get you aware of this paradigm shift. It is a true paradigm shift. I believe medicine is heading in this direction, and what a great way for it to go, because these are types of therapies that you're able to apply to yourself, on yourself, by yourself, and don't really need, after the initial frequencies are determined, a lot of medical intervention. So Shannon's going to be our guest today, and if in the course of our discussions with Shannon you want to call in to ask a question or to make a comment, as you should know by now, that number is 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. Speaking of that conference, if you're interested in the conference, which is going to be held on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 days, different individuals involved in different days. For instance, April 10 on Friday is a day for lay persons only. The entire day is going to be spent teaching you how to deal with the use of frequency microcurrent for your own medical problems as well as members of your family. If you have an interest in that, you want to go to the website at microcurrentconference.com. That's microcurrentconference.com. The entire description of the conference is there, all the speakers, the entire agenda, the venue. Of course, the venue is going to be held at the Crown Plaza Hotel out there on Fort Catch Road in Bethel Park, just across the street from the South Hills Village. If you're going to be involved on the Saturday and Sunday combination, which is for practitioners, you might very well want to stay overnight at the hotel, and we do have a corporate rate. 2 ways to get that. I'm told that if you go to the website at microcurrentconference.com and you click on the accommodations button up on top, it'll take you to a page talking about the hotel. By taking your cursor and clicking on the hotel, it will allow you to register online immediately with the discounted code already included in the price, which makes it a $99 fee for the overnight, much and substantially lower than the standard off the traffic will bear price that is offered to the general public. If in fact you call the phone number there, you'll have to use the code Courtney Medical Group to get that same discount. Anyway, head to the website, microcurrentconference.com. All of what you need to know is found at the site, and then give us a call here at 724-942-3002 and talk to Sister Sarah. Enroll for either the layperson conference day, which is April 10, or if you're a practitioner, you can be a medical doctor, an osteopathic physician, a naturopath, physical therapist, massage therapist. These are folks that work with their own client and patient load and treat them for a myriad of things, one of which is usually always pain problems, and this is the modality to conquer that problem. Anyway, we're going to be talking more about that today with Shannon when she contacts us. And for those of you that are just wondering, geez, I don't know enough about this yet, that's what the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy meeting is all about on Thursday. So come on up there on Thursday, get a little bit of immersed in frequency-specific microcurrent. You may decide you want to be involved in the conference, and you'll certainly be able to do it at that time. Anyway, more about FSM, the conference, and the meeting on Thursday night when Shannon checks in with us about 1/4 about 5 minutes from now. Okay, other things going on in this month. Well, we have an eye program that we're going to be holding on the 27th, 28th, and 29th of the month. This is the famous Ed Condrat 3-day eye treatment program, utilizing his treatment protocol, non-invasive protocol, no surgery, no drugs, no injections, no invasiveness, no anything other than results. And in 3 days, we can usually get these serious retinal diseases turned around. We've been talking about this kind of a program for a long time now, and many of you already are aware that we are running the program. We are a affiliate of the Healing the Eye and Wellness Group out of Florida, the Dr. Ed Condrat initiated program. We're the local entity that offers these programs, and we're known as the Pittsburgh Eye Protocol. Please head to the website at pittsburgheyeprotocol.com, and you can find out more about all this. And we even link to Dr. Ed's site in a couple critical areas to make it easy for you to find how you're navigating around it. So conference coming up on 27, 28, and 29. And now I'm going to mention, I mentioned this the other day, I'll mention it again today, more coming on this topic. Many patients have contacted me and the group over a lot of months now because they have cataract issues, and they're very much interested in taking care of those cataracts without surgery. I will tell you that in the month of May, we're going to have a special cataract clinic. There are some new modalities that are having some excellent turnaround. If you have cataracts and you are concerned about being forced to have a surgery you don't want, and I'm going to suggest to you that you don't want that surgery, even though it's pretty much able to yield better vision, There are consequences to that surgery. How about this one? 70% of the people who get that surgery will develop macular degeneration within the 2 years of having received the surgery, and that's just information you got to take to the bank, and nobody's telling you except us. So a cataract clinic coming up in May. More about that as this month clicks by us, and as we approach the month of May, I'll be talking about that more and more and more. Of course, we are the Lyme disease treatment headquarters, utilizing a combination of ozone therapy, which we've been enjoying since April of 2014, and combining it now with the Dr. Ty Vincent autoimmune component, especially for Lyme's disease. We've found a real combination, a 1-2 punch that is able to conquer these very serious autoimmune diseases, and that's the key. That's the new thing that we learned about Lyme's, is that it is not only a microbially induced disease, not due to just that tick bite alone with certain bacteria, Borrelia, by the way, the name of the organism, but this thing switches, and it goes from a pure infectious disease to an autoimmune disease, and once it makes that transition, without any specialized treatment, you're unfortunately consigned to having these symptoms literally for a lifetime. Not anymore. We're the Lyme disease treatment headquarters right here. Give us a call and we can have a pretty lengthy discussion about how to take this one on and get results and get this thing turned around relatively quickly. So in all cases, give us a call here at 724-942-3002. If it has to do with the conference, you want to talk to Sister Sarah. If you're interested in having an appointment with me to discuss issues of ozone therapy and LDA and LDI, you want to talk to Kim, our office manager. Same number, however, 724-942-3002, and we'll be able to direct you once you give us that ring. Should know, by the way, on Monday, the other half of the Dynamic Speaking Corps is going to be with us as our special guest. So today is Shannon, and then on Monday, Charmaine, Dr. Charmaine Bassett-Trim is going to be our guest, all getting you ready for two things: the up-and-coming frequency-specific microcurrent conference, as well as that two-speaker meeting for the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy group that's going to be held this next Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So a lot going on about the frequency-specific microcurrent issue. If you don't know much about it, you'll have a lot to learn and can learn about it. Literally, it's all happening next week, and a lot of venues to find out more about it as time moves on. And we'll let it go at that. Okay, let's do this. We're going to take a short break. In the interim, we hope to connect ourselves with Shannon Goosen. She is an expert in the art of FSM and the teaching of FSM. That's why we went to her immediately when we thought it was time to introduce this to Western Pennsylvania. And now teaming her up with Charmaine Bassett gives us a double whammy combination. Really unheard of in the country, and that's coming right here in your backyard. More on the subject of FSM in just a moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on a Friday morning version of the show. A little different for us. It's not the traditional get 'em up out of town version. We got things to talk about, folks. A lot happening here in Western Pennsylvania, and next week it all comes to town. Now, we have been bringing a message to you that may have sounded strange initially, but we keep on bringing this message back. We think it is the wonderful paradigm shift in medicine that will revolutionize it, actually. And the person, and one of the persons, I guess we should say, that is really up to speed on this. Her name is Shannon Goosen. Get a load of this pedigree. She's been in private practice since 1996 and doing frequency-specific microcurrent since 2001. She's a certified instructor. She's been teaching folks this art. She gets back from seminars from 2009 to 2012. She is equally skilled in the use of the Avasia unit. That's slightly different. Probably more to talk about that as time moves on. Anyway, we restruck our relationship up back in October, and we've been bringing her to you each and every month. And now we're bringing her to you live and in the flesh. Shannon Goosen, our guest today. Good morning, Shannon. And thanks for coming aboard today.
Good morning, Dennis, and it is a Frequency Friday again.
It's a Frequency, yeah. We had Microcurrent Mondays, and now it has turned into Frequency Friday. I guess the big improvement this time is you're not moving down the highway in a vehicle at 70 miles an hour. You're in your office in a chair, and I'm happy to hear you're in those comfortable surroundings. But Shannon, you're going to be getting out of that chair very soon and working your way up north. You've been to Pittsburgh many times, and you're coming back. And next week, a lot of activity is going to circulate around something you know an awful lot about, which is frequency-specific microcurrent. Now, we originally intended, and we are going to have, a wonderful conference which can involve lay people or practitioners or both. But now we find out we got one additional great feather in the cap, and that is on Thursday night, there's going to be a meeting, the monthly meeting of the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy Group, and both you and Charmaine Bassett-Trim are going to be the headliners trying to encourage patients to learn more about the use of microcurrent and maybe even titillating them a bit to learn more with the conference coming up. So it's a lot of words to get out, but let me ask you, Shannon, on your way, almost getting ready to board the plane to come to Pittsburgh, talk to us about what you intend to be able to convey to the group at the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy meeting on Thursday night.
Dennis, there is a huge issue with chronic pain issues, and low energy, and people struggling with their wellness and getting their bodies to just do the job the body was intended to do and do it correctly, which we're designed to do. I'm thrilled that there is a group of people that are gathering together in a very positive way that are literally taking back their health care, because this is what we're talking about. It is time for everyone that is able to take back their health care and to have information, true information, so that they can make a choice, which in medicine we call informed consent. And as you know, as a physician, informed consent tends to be kind of lacking, and informed consent about decisions about healthcare and how we decide we want to get treated for whatever condition we're going through is limited by the information that the practitioner has. So here's an opportunity where people can come out that are not medical doctors and are not practitioners necessarily, and they can gather more information about what is really out there that has a profound and positive effect on their health and well-being. And they have an opportunity to get this information more in depth than they would normally be able to on how they can make treatment decisions around treating other maladies and pain issues and improving their energy state and the far-reaching effects that microcurrent is proving to have over and over again by the flurry of information that is starting to be released on the effects of microcurrent in the body and actually improving the immune system. So we will actually be able to cover what is happening with this new research that is coming out, how it is actually having far-reaching effects on the body, on the immune system, and how we're able to very quickly, efficiently, and painlessly put information into the body in the form of microcurrent that reduces pain, improves cellular function, increases protein synthesis, and improves the person's energy state. And you already know, Dennis, it is my opinion that we need to have microcurrent devices in the home of everybody in the United States. There are ways to learn how to use these easy-to-use devices, and they can immediately treat any kind of chronic pain issue. We've already talked about how well they work for any kind of sudden trauma. And people would have the ability to take back their health care and have freedom of choice in how they're going to treat themselves by having these devices at home. So my hope and goal is that between all of us that are presenting and bringing information that we are passionate about, that consumers and lay people and patients and everybody walking down the street has the ability to get one of these devices, have it at home, and be able to take care of themselves and feel like they have an understanding of what they're doing, why they're doing it, and when to apply these devices and use them. So this is my hope and my passion for everybody, and this is what I'm bringing to Western Pennsylvania. I'll be in Pittsburgh in less than a week, as you know, and we are going to bring this information to the consumer, to the patient, to the practitioner, and start really, really blowing the horn that it's time for this paradigm shift, and everybody needs to be able to take back their health care. And as the group says, there should be freedom of choice, and we only have choices when we have information and we're informed. I'm coming to Pittsburgh, and we're going to start informing.
Shannon, this group that I know you don't know much about, but I can tell you I've been involved with this group for a long time, many years now. They have had the market cornered in individuals who are just the very kind of individuals that you're describing, who've already decided they wanted to take their health care back. In fact, they go under the banner of the freedom of choice in cancer therapy, which is a pretty serious set of diseases, but that's how this all got started. And so if there ever was a group that I think is prepared to listen to a message of how you take your health care back, this is the perfect group to do it. So I'm so happy that Sylvia contacted me and has worked this out to be the meeting for the month of April. And you're going to really enjoy meeting a group of people who I believe are the trendsetters of Western Pennsylvania, who already in many cases had taken their health care back, but now are going to be made aware of a way to do it that I don't think that many of them have been exposed to before. Now, I would ask you that, having had the opportunity to introduce so many, now you've been involved with this since 2001, you've been teaching people in official courses since 2009, and when you meet a group of people who are learning about microcurrent for the first time, what is it that you go, oh, this is what I want them, this is what I really want them to walk away with? I think if I could tell them this, this, and this, these three things, it might just light up their light a bit and push them into making decisions about seizing this opportunity. So what is it that you're going to be trying to convey to that group there on Thursday night to maybe titillate them enough to make the jump?
Our bodies are electrical. There's just no two ways about it. Our bodies are electrical. We have communication inside our body with our trillions of cells which have electrical communication. And using electrical medicine has been around for a very, very long time and goes way back. We know that when we put proper electrical signals into the body in its brilliance knows exactly what to do with them, takes the information, runs with it, and is able to improve biochemistry and heal itself at lightning speed. And because we have been stuck in this pharmaceutical model and putting drugs into the body and waiting for single line chemical reactions to happen that do not take into account the far-reaching secondary, tertiary, and on effects, which we know as side effects from putting these chemicals in our body. We've been so locked in that model that mainstream allopathic medicine, for the most part, but not everywhere, for the most part, is unable to wrap their brain around the possibility that we can instantaneously change what is happening in the body by putting in electrical signaling that is painless. You don't even have to feel it. And that electrical signaling is just the information that the body needs to change its voltage to do its job and heal. And we know this, we see this, we have data about how we alter inflammatory cytokines and chemicals that are markers for pain and inflammation. And we know that we do it at these impossible speeds because we have the data. So I want everyone to have an opportunity to hear about, electrical medicine has been around for a long time, and there has been research that has been done over the past 5 decades that proves and puts out the point that, in fact, electrical signaling in the body absolutely has a far-reaching effect and a very fast effect. Patients and people are able to apply these electrical signaling currents in the form of microcurrent and have quick, fast pain relief, far-reaching effects that we now see modulate the immune system, and it may, in fact, be the very soon wave of the future for treating autoimmune diseases and immune systems gone awry. And 4, there's an ability for people to have these devices at home, learn how to use them, and treat themselves and get educated. Because we're in the information age. Everybody has access to anything and everything they want to learn because of the internet and the ability to quickly access information. You no longer have to go to school and get a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD, a doctorate, whatever. There is equal opportunity for anybody that has access to a computer to learn anything they want. So we no longer have this elitism where you have the right credentials and so you're allowed to know something and you get to control the information that people get on what is in their best and highest interest for their health, wellness, and healing. Everybody has equal access. They just have to get to a computer and get on the internet and know the questions to ask. So those 3 things, Dennis. The body responds to electricity because we are electrical beings. There's even more far-reaching with it with quantum physics. People can actually take back their health care and they can apply these modalities to quickly heal. And eventually, allopathic mainstream medicine is going to come around. It's just that they unfortunately have been brainwashed with an allopathic model that says that we have to do pharmaceutical. And that's just not true anymore. So this is what I'm hoping to bring.
Great answer to the question. That was just precise. I never expected I was going to get that precision, but I should have known with you involved that I could expect to get just that. Now, I told I told listeners when we started the program, if they had any questions, to feel free to give us a call. You don't mind taking a question or two, do you?
I do not mind at all.
Because I think we're going to knock on the door. Come on this door. Hello and welcome aboard. You're with Shannon. Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I hear a lot about microcurrent being used for pain. How does it work for mood disorders? How well does it work if it does?
And hello, and thank you for calling. And did you say mood disorders?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, depression and anxiety.
Okay. So first of all, I'm gonna make a broad statement on the radio because we need to do this. One of the reasons that I bring up pain is because according to the FDA and how TENS devices are categorized, and all microcurrent devices are categorized under TENS devices, which Dr. Courtney and I have had that discussion before. So within that, they are basically on-label use for the treatment of pain of any kind. We know from practitioners who are able to use devices off-label or have had observed effects while they're treating pain conditions that all kinds of other things happen. And so what I can tell you is that it is pretty commonplace that patients that are receiving microcurrent for some kind of pain condition typically have a degree of emotional component or mood disorder, and that seems to improve with it. And we actually have the data that shows that when we treat certain kind of conditions that cause inflammation in the body, that we raise something called serotonin. And serotonin is one of the neurotransmitters that is associated with mood. Now, there's other ones associated with mood. This is the one that we tend to see everybody talking about. The other observed effect that we have is that we know we are changing the signaling at the membrane, and we are improving protein synthesis. So there are things that are actually happening at the cellular level on the cell wall where different chemicals will attach into receptor sites and take information into the cell. We know that we change what is happening in those membranes. And in that, we are probably improving the function of release of neurotransmitters and then the receptors. And so when we modulate that as a secondary effect, or we can call it a side effect, it's just that our side effects tend to be very positive. So when we have that positive side effect, people suddenly say, you know what, I feel better, I have more energy, my mood's improving. And that is the other observed effect. Off-label, I can tell you that we've been incredibly successful with treating post-traumatic stress disorder, which is, just a very, very serious problem and a far-reaching mood disorder that people have with other serious associated challenges. And so we know that when we run specific frequencies, that we see changes in that also. So there is not an on-label use for it. I can tell you that off-label and as a side effect, this is what most practitioners are experiencing, that people have more energy, feel better, and their mood improves.
We should say, by the way, there's a great question, it's a very appropriate question to ask, that when you bring the level of expertise to the table within scope of practice, I can tell you, sir, that there are many frequencies specifically devised to treat the emotional component alone. And so with frequency-specific microcurrent, these frequencies are well known, and with a practitioner, a medical doctor able to work with somebody like Shannon, we're able to delve into layer after layer of this and get to the emotional component and do so within that scope of practice to allow you to benefit as a person receiving those microcurrents. So great question. I hope we make you feel good about becoming comfortable with microcurrent, because it does handle and is able to address issues with mood and emotion that maybe people had heretofore never thought was possible.
Great.
All right, sir?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it was a great question, Shannon, because that emotional component, as you and I both know, we anguish and languish over this many times working with a patient who comes with a pain problem, but the baggage that they bring to the table always have mood and emotion that are front and center and need to be addressed. So it's not an accidental thing that emotion is treated. It's an on-purpose thing. Is that a fair thing to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dennis, I would just like to say out loud on the radio right now to all of your listeners that this whole idea that our physical issues and our emotional issues are somehow separate.
Yes.
That emotions are housed in the brain and physical issues are housed in the body. I'm going to just say it. It's ridiculous. It's not true. And Dennis, you know, just as a medical doctor in your training, and you heard me deliver my lecture on the puzzle of pain, the reality is all pain is in the brain. So that is where we feel pain in the brain, and Candace Pert showed us that emotion is in the body. So we actually have it backwards. So our emotional information is locked in something called neuropolypeptides, and the highest density is in the spine of all the crazy things. And so we know as manual therapists that we can actually do manual therapy and cause a sudden and instantaneous change in someone's mood. So there is no such thing that, for me, that when we're talking about emotions, that we're talking about a so-called mental problem. It's just ridiculous. It's archaic. We did it, and it had to do with ancient times and people trying to be able to explore the body and appease the church. And it's outdated. It's not real. People are still stuck in that paradigm also. So your emotions are in your body.
Plain and simple.
Pain is perceived in the brain. So we've got it backwards, my perspective. And there is no separation between the two of them. The way we are designed phylogenetically, we need to ingrain an emotional memory associated with something in order to alert us that we want to go towards it or away from it. It's what makes the species survive. It's what makes us special with that ability to assign meaning. And so it's in our bodies. It's always related to a pain condition, and we have stigmatized it, and it's ridiculous. And we have it wrong, and I'm hoping that paradigm shift will also have, there is no separation between the brain and the body from my perspective. They work together, and the things that happen usually have to do with biochemicals being off because we don't have proper nutrition, and we don't have what we need to make the nerves work and the system to work properly, and we have information that gets trapped in the body. We know we have the ability to address that, treat it, change the information, and restore people.
Great answer. Hey, we have another knock on the door. Why don't you come on this door? Hello, welcome aboard. You with Shannon. Go right ahead.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney. Good morning, Shannon.
Hi.
Good morning.
2 questions, if I may. I don't have access to the computer, and you were alluding to the fact that if you have a computer, there's information out there. Is there information the person can find out which frequency applies to which body tissue?
Absolutely. All you have to do is come to the class next weekend, and I'm giving it all away.
Ah!
Okay, second question. Is there some type of device that I could hook my body up to scan me, to tell me what frequencies I need, what frequency deficiency I have?
You know, actually, there are different devices. They're really, really, really expensive. And there are devices, though, one of them being on the med, and then there's a couple of other scanning devices where if you have a really, really savvy practitioner with incredible energetic sensitivity, because we're feeling pulses and feeling changes that have to do with an autonomic response and heart rate variability, and there's things that actually do happen in the body that we can measure with computers that tell us, oh my gosh, that's the frequency I need. And so these devices can get hooked up to, they tend to scan through everything and then put that information right into the body. So there are some very, very high level devices that do that electrically. They will match to you and look for where the mismatch is in information and then put that information back in. And another device that does that very, very well, interestingly, with not only physical maladies, but also emotional components to that is Zyto. So yes, that's available. They are very expensive, but totally worth the investment. People tend to go into a practitioner's office to have that done, and they can see that these frequency mismatches in information can be normalized sometimes very, very quickly or over time.
There you go, Sam. Any other question for the young lady?
Well, otherwise, the scanning device, or some scanning devices will correlate with the microcurrent device and tell us which frequency we need then.
Well, interestingly enough, I've worked with practitioners where we have used these devices and come up with surprises on. It's like, oh, that's where that's coming from. And then once we get that information from those scanning devices, we can actually write programs that go on home devices, and then we can see if those frequencies that we put in that are associated with whatever those scanning devices found are a match for what the person needs. However, most of those really expensive scanning devices, Cyto and some of the other ones, they will actually put the frequencies into your body right then and there.
Thank you.
All right, Sam. Great question. By the way, try to make it out there, Sam. You can learn an awful lot here. The questions keep coming, Shannon. Pittsburgh wants to know, and we got another caller. Come on in the store. Hello, welcome aboard. You are Shannon. Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
Hi, Shannon. Hi, Dr. Coy.
Hi.
Good morning.
I have 3 questions. One of them is, in some of the other types of modalities, like Dr. Courtney does the ozone, and with that, there's usually need to have other kinds of support going on for the body. At one point, Schallenberger, I think it was him, said that, like, for instance, if there's a thyroid issue, the ozone is not just a quick fix. You have to have that other kind of repair and, remediation work going on in order for something like ozone to really have impact. How would you compare that kind of theory to the FSM stuff?
I totally agree with Dr. Schallenberg. And Dr. Courtney will tell you I am a huge advocate
Thyroid.
Information that we put in the body in the form of food. The most powerful medicine we have on this planet is what we put in our mouth. And the frequency information from food and all of the nutrients that are in it are information for the body. And that has now been proven. And Bruce Lipton just put out a video talking about, it turns out that you are what you eat, because we now know that the food that we put in our body specifically signals DNA and RNA to produce proteins that are encoded in our genes, and it triggers that in order for us to have the daily biochemical activity that we need and for the body to be working properly. So it all goes back to signaling, which is what I was talking about with microcurrent. And what we eat, what we breathe, the information that we put in our bodies is what signals the information. The body already knows how to do it right. We just have to give it the information, and we are in a day and age where we thought that we could do the body and biology better than what was already designed, and we have harmed ourselves because of it, because of our environment, because of what we've done to our food supply, because of how we are in our daily lives, because of the stress levels we're under, because of the schedules that we put ourselves on, the lack of exercise, the lack of relaxation, the lack of time to just be quiet and meditate and reflect. We have lost so much of that, and that is the information that the body needs. So to directly answer your question, we are now in a day and time where we need to combine all of this to get the restoration. The difference is, with microcurrent, we have a way to very quickly get devices into the hands of anyone who wants one, so that they can start improving the electrical signaling in their body, so their cells know what to do when food information comes in. And we can use other things like ozone and more infrared saunas and other supplementation to make sure that we're getting the junk out of the body, getting the good stuff in, getting the toxic information out of the body, repairing the signaling of the cells, so we can get the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. Microcurrent comes in because of what it does with the signaling in the body, so we can take in the good information.
And if I follow that point and principles that you're saying, I'm formulating in my head, so if a person is sick, whatever's going on, to do the microcurrent, because they have more energy and doesn't think clearer, they may also be motivated to change their lifestyle.
Absolutely. There is nothing like getting out of pain to make you want to get up and get on with it, because that's what gives us hope. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't have to live with this pain. Oh my gosh, I do have energy and I can get up and go do these things that I want to do that are in my best and highest interest, and I can change my life. You give yourself 1 full year of doing this, every single cell in your body is about to completely reproduce, and you have an entirely new version of yourself. Dr. Courtney has heard me say over and over, at 51, I am so much better than I was in my late 20s and early 30s. There's no doubt about it. At 51, I am much more vibrant, healthy, energetic, active than I ever was able to be before.
That kind of answers another question I had about like what percentage of patients have that only need like treatment in the office, don't need a unit at home. From what you're saying, most of us benefit from a year of home treatment.
Absolutely, and it happens faster than that. It's just that that's how long it takes for your cells in your body and all of your organs and all of your tissues to turn over and be the new version of myself. You know, which is why when I'm talking about myself, I say in a previous version of myself, because I am not in the same body that I was, and none of you are. So you don't get this blob of cells that mature by the time you're in your 20s, and those are the ones that you take with you until your 80s. Our body is constantly reproducing itself, and if you can correct the information going into your body, your unhealthy cells will go away and your healthy cells will reproduce and do what they were designed to do.
My last question is, you use a different device, Dr. Courtney. Differences, those two just pretty similar, or?
Dr. Courtney and I are using the same devices.
Okay.
Yeah, same ones.
Aside from the written.
I have some extra ones, and you know, and a couple of extra things that I use. But Dr. Courtney and I are using the same devices. And in my clinic in Jacksonville, I am device central, so that when we have people that have trauma, and I had a week of it this week where we had urgent things going on, I'm able to just get people in the office and get them in a room and hooked up to the programs and frequencies that they need and let that information get into their body.
Great questions.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I thought they were wonderful questions, Shannon. That thing with the thyroid, obviously, by the way, you and I would know, but she picked up on the Schallenberger Association with ozone and how important it is to get thyroid optimal. You and I have a great little clinician in our background. Her name's Janet Travell, and she didn't teach us that you can't treat muscular disease without correcting thyroid, and both of us walked away a lot more ignorant than we thought. And then finally, here we are back at microcurrent, and thyroid is probably the most common additional frequency put into most programs. If I had to be asked about one, that would be the one that is the most.
Right, and I've got great stories. I mean, people that end up with goiters, we've watched goiters disappear before our eyes in a matter of, you know, hours and days. So there's a lot of people that, interestingly, ended up in the world of using microcurrent and frequency-specific microcurrent because we had these life-changing events with their thyroid. And so you can get the frequencies into the body, and of course, you're treating pain, Dennis, because people that have these thyroid issues have fatigue and muscle pain that comes with it, plus a whole other host of things. So we actually have these frequencies that seem to make a difference, and all we have to do is put the information in the body in the form of food that contains the specific things that the thyroid needs in order to work properly, and then you change the signaling in the body by putting in information, and all of a sudden you have restoration.
Okay, great. Here we are, coming up to the gun lap. I want to once again invite those who are listening to us today and maybe catching a little bit of a different look at microcurrent. I hope we're tantalizing you a bit, there's going to be all sorts of opportunity in this up and coming week to learn more about microcurrent. It all starts on Thursday night. Shannon's coming to town. Now, you know Dr. Charmaine Bassett-Trim is also coming to town. The two of these women are going to be taken to the stage and handling that meeting with the Freedom of Choice and Therapy group, Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy group on Thursday night at 7 o'clock at the Slovenian Center in Cheswick. This is the one time it's not going to be in Oakmont. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, conference that Shannon and Charmaine also will be teaching at for those that want to learn more. So it all starts on Thursday night. Come on out. Come to that free meeting. Enjoy yourself. And as you think you'd like to learn more, the opportunity is going to present itself. Shannon, any final words you want to pass on to our listeners today before we say goodbye?
I really encourage everyone to come out and listen and learn. There was a gentleman that said that he didn't have access to a computer. If you're one of those people that don't have access to a computer, come out and get this information. Charmaine and I have been educating ourselves for decades on this information. Dr. Courtney has been also. We have access to all that information, and we're going to share the pearls and the information to inform you on what is out there, so you are an informed person on your health care and what is available and what is happening actually way back and behind the scenes in mainstream medicine and even the military. So what I would like to tell all of you is there's some really savvy people that are in the medical field and researchers that are saying, hey, we need to pay attention to this. It works. And so they are doing it. It's starting to show up where the military is investigating it. We know that it works. We know that it's starting to get into mainstream. It's just probably going to take another decade for most physicians to find out about it. So get informed. We'll give you the information. You'll have the information. You can take it with you. You can apply it.
Yeah, be the first in Western Pennsylvania. This is just newly arriving here, folks. You are the first, really, to have the opportunity in Western Pennsylvania to hear about it and learn about it. For the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy group, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the FSM conference going to be held in the South Hills at the Crown Plaza Hotel. For more information on that, head to the website, microcurrentconference.com. The entire agenda is laid out there. All the speakers, the entire speaking engagement, the venue, everything is there for your need and your desire. Hope to be seeing you on Thursday night and just maybe on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday too. Who knows? It's going to be a big week in Pittsburgh. And Shannon, we look forward to your arrival and to put the two of you women, you and Charmaine, up on stage. I got to get a picture of that.
Fabulous, Dennis. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll see you soon, Sam. Thank you so much, too.
Bye-bye.
There you have it, folks. Shannon Goosen, coming up from Jacksonville, Florida. She's been in Pittsburgh many times before. Actually, was a student here for a while, too, folks. She's got a fondness for Pittsburgh, and she's sort of taken it under her as a project under her wing to make sure that you're not left out. And it all begins on Thursday night. Come on up there to the Freedom of Choice and Cancer Therapy group. Now remember, they're just this one-timer. It's a weird set of circumstances in that we're going to have this meeting one time, and it's going to be held at the, get a load of this, the American Slovenian Citizens Association. That's at 230 Heron Avenue in Cheswick. So when you get off of the turnpike there, what you want to do is stay in the left lane, not in the right lane like you would before, left lane, and take it on out and get onto Freeport Road, and you're going to go a quarter mile north before you turn left on the Heron. 2 blocks in, you are there. I hope to see you there on Thursday night. If you got a mind to maybe make a decision about the weekend conference, that's wonderful. That's be a great way to take this in and learn more once you have had some initial questions answered. And then, of course, head to the website for the conference, which is microcurrentconference.com. Everything awaits you there, and you'll be able to enroll. And also, you can actually even get the room online if you want to stay on the Saturday night, over Saturday night, so that you don't have to travel home and come back. We have a special rate, a corporate rate of $99 at that hotel. You can get that rate one of two ways. Go to the conference website at microcurrentconference.com, and then when you click on the venue component and icon, the hotel picture that comes up, put your cursor on it and click on it, and you'll be able to register online and get the rate automatically. If you want to use the phone number and call the hotel, you'll have to use the code Courtney Medical Group, and you'll get the $99 rate. And we hope to see you then. All right. There's Bill and his chopsticks. Perfect time to say goodbye to you. I want you to have a wonderful and solemn Easter holiday. We'll be back with you on Monday. We'll get things riled up again with the original Dr. Vavoom herself, Dr. Charmaine Bassett. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for AM Impact on your health.